It's all in black and white right here, Sharon. You can't deny it. You can't say it didn't happen. What you're saying about, oh, I didn't want that to happen, I didn't plan for that, it's lies. You're lying when you say that because you did plan for it. You did prepare for it. You wrote it down. That's where you f***ed up.
This is Sharon Myers. The day after Father's Day in 2008, deputies respond to the home Sharon shares with her husband, Gary Kenny, and their children, Amanda, Darryl, and Joshua, to investigate a report of stolen firearms. At the house, police discover a shocking scene. 50-year-old Gary is dead, shot multiple times, with lacerations to his wrist and neck. Uncovering growing issues between Gary and his oldest son, investigators arrest Darryl and his friend Ruben Nero on suspicion of murder. During their police interrogations, the young men point the finger at Sharon. When officers search the family home, they discover letters that appear to show Sharon and Darryl planning and preparing for Gary's murder. Sharon and her daughter Amanda are hauled down to the sheriff's office for formal police interrogations. Amanda's interview is featured in the previous video in this series. At the same time, Sharon is being interrogated in another room.
Sharon, I appreciate you coming in to talk to me. As I've told you on the way up here, you're not under arrest for anything. There's some things that I want you to explain to me.
And understand we're at the our office here in Rockledge. The door in here is shut for our privacy, and you're free to leave at any time. You understand that? Okay.
So let's Sharon, let's you and I start as if we haven't had a conversation yet. Although you and I spoke Monday night at length, I think some of the things that you told us Monday night just isn't true. I think that there's some things that you need to clear up for us. And I'm going to give you the opportunity today, right now, to tell the truth. And all of its details, as painful as they're going to be. I need to know why you felt the necessity to plot and plan to have your husband Gary murdered at your son's hands. Whether your son did it or one of these hitmen that you were trying to hire did it. Why did you feel pushed to that level? What has Gary done to you?
I never would have done it.
You never would have killed him.
No, I never would have went through with any of it. I don't know why I wrote those things. I think it was just in anger at the time.
Well, help me understand what it was that was making you angry. What was Gary doing?
He was always yelling at me. He was always just, no matter what I did, there was nothing I could ever do that would make him happy. The harder I tried, the angrier he got. He kept trying and trying and trying. I did everything he wanted me to do, but it was never enough. It was never the right thing, even though it was exactly what he wanted. It still wasn't the right things. It wasn't good enough. I never would have done it.
So you felt trapped?
That's why I consulted with a lawyer.
To try to get a divorce?
Mm-hmm.
But before all that happened, you consulted with Darryl and you had these thoughts.
That's all they were. They were just thoughts.
Well, thinking something is one thing. But having the presence of mind to write them down and send them to someone in prison is two different things, Sharon.
Yeah, but to act upon your thoughts. When you have somebody else act upon your thoughts, that's where you cross that threshold. It's no longer just a thought. Okay, you want action done with your thoughts.
And thinking something is one thing, but giving detailed descriptions of when he goes to work, when he wakes up, how often he goes outside, that's not thinking. That's taking action. Giving instructions as to where guns are and how to go about getting them isn't thinking, Sharon. That's taking action.
He knew where they were because they'd been there for a long time.
But you told him, well, not only where they were, but when Grandma...
I didn't know where they were.
You told him when Grandma and Grandpa was going to go to church.
I didn't know exactly when.
So Darryl's lying?
He knows they go. You gotta understand, my in-laws go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday. 2 services on Sunday, 1 on Wednesday.
I understand, but you still told Darryl that they go to church on Sunday mornings.
Well, he knows that.
Well,
I didn't
Darryl
have to tell him that.
Well, Darryl says that you told him that, so that was when he would know that it would be okay to go in and steal the guns. We have a neighbor at their house saying that's exactly when Darryl shows up to steal the guns. Okay? So minimizing your actions by saying they were thoughts isn't going to work. Okay? Because we can prove that it was more than just thought. I need you to help me understand why you felt it necessary to take the thought and turn it into action.
And then to take it a step further, that's what actually happened. Your thoughts, which you wanted him to act upon, actually happened.
I didn't want him to act upon it.
We'll start going through it, and you can help me explain it.
First of all, did you correspond with him up in prison?
Yes,
Okay, how did you correspond with him?
in letters.
In letters, okay. And when you wrote the letters, where did you mail them from? From your house, from a post office, from somebody else's house, what?
In the post office.
Okay, and when you received the letters, where did you receive them at?
The next door neighbor's house.
Okay, and what is that address?
I don't know the house number. It's Linwood Court.
Linwood. Who?
Why did you feel it necessary to do that?
Because I didn't think Gary would. Well, I know Gary wouldn't want me communicating with him because Gary washed his hands of Darryl.
See, that right there is stuff I need to know about. Gary was controlling to the point that he wouldn't even allow you to get mail.
He wouldn't even talk about him. I wasn't allowed to talk to Gary about my feelings towards what was going on with Darryl.
So you had to sneak around behind Gary's back just to communicate with your own child. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how did that make you feel, Sharon?
I just wish I could have talked to him about it.
But how did that make you feel? Tell me what you were going through, your emotions at that point.
It was upsetting that he didn't want to have anything to do with this on display everything.
I mean, that's your firstborn, right? That's his firstborn son, your firstborn son, and he wanted nothing to do with him. This is, as Agent Kent said, this is the type of stuff that we need to hear, okay?
He wanted nothing to do with him ever again. And he couldn't understand why I still wanted him.
And it was at the root of all your problems right there? Is that what you guys argued about?
I wasn't even allowed to tell him how I felt, what I thought.
He wouldn't even let you tell him, huh? You couldn't even talk to anybody else, couldn't even do anything because he just completely said, you know what, Darryl's no longer mine, right?
Pretty much.
And that made you upset. Did that make you angry?
No, I'm not angry, just upset.
Just
I
upset?
couldn't understand why it's his son.
What led to that point? Why is he totally just blocked him out of his memory? What led to that point?
Probably because of the trouble he got into before that.
So his trouble with the law. Okay, was it something that Gary was embarrassed of, or was it something what?
Well, Gary was probably the money he thought he lost because we put him in college and he didn't make it too long and we still had to pay the tuition and he just looked at that and then he got into trouble and we bailed him out and he looked at the money that we put out for that and then he got hooked up with a girl around the corner and she wouldn't leave us alone. She kept driving by the house and parking out front and watching every move we made and you know, Gary blamed Darryl for all that. He said it was all his fault. If he would have just, you know, not got mixed up with anybody in the development. And if he would have just listened to him and, do what he told him to do, then we wouldn't have had any of those problems. And I tried explaining it to Gary, it's not, yes, it's Darryl's fault that he got mixed up with him, but it's not Darryl's fault on how they were acting and
Right.
the fact that they were harassing us and they wouldn't leave us alone. And we kept calling you guys out and no one would do anything, which made it that much worse. And then when he didn't show up for probation and, he got locked up this last time, that was it.
Okay.
Gary's just like, that's it. And he even told me, he said, I'm not allowed to even mention his name in the house anymore. So when I really needed him the most and I really needed someone to talk to,
You were alone.
he wasn't there. And he said I could talk to him about anything just as long as it was what he wanted and not what I thought or what I felt.
And that went on for the entire 2 years that Darryl was in prison, didn't it?
I was never, like I said, I was never allowed to talk to him. I was never allowed to tell him how I felt. And if he asked me my opinion and if I gave it to him and it wasn't the answer he wanted, he would yell and scream and holler at me. So I just got to the point I felt like I could never talk to him. And then he yelled at me for that because I wasn't talking to him. We tried marriage counseling. And the first one we went to, on the last session on the way out, she looked at me and she turned around and told me behind his back that I needed to call her and make an appointment so the two of us could just sit and talk. And I called her on the phone and she told me that I needed to get away from him.
This being the therapist,
Just being the therapist.
What therapist did you see?
Was one of them.
Okay.
That was the second one. The first one, I can't remember her name. I have it written down somewhere. But when we met with, he had a couple sessions with her. And then we had a session together. And the session that we had together, I just told her what was going on. Just that weekend, how he was acting. And I thought that was the purpose of marriage counseling. You go in,
right?
You tell them what's going on, and they're supposed to help you fix it, right? Isn't that what they're supposed to do?
But the important thing about counseling is both people have to want the help.
I thought he did.
And it looked
He's
like
the one who found her. He's the one who suggested it. So I thought he wanted to help.
So you had tried for years to make things right. You went to a marriage counselor to try to make things right.
Two of them.
And still nothing worked. So you felt that much more trapped, didn't you? That much more.
No, the second one told me she wouldn't tell me to get a divorce, but she told me that I needed to consider alternatives because he was supposed to be medicated. They both told him he needed to be medicated.
Gary did.
Gary needed to be medicated. And he got a prescription.
Did they say what for?
Depression,
Okay.
anxiety. And he got a prescription and he took it for a day or two. And then he dumped the rest of it and told me he was never going to take anything else again and I wasn't going to make him. And I didn't make him to begin with. I wanted him to take it because I wanted things to work out. And he refused.
But after all of that, and I can understand it, Sharon, I really can. After all of that, and it still wasn't getting any better.
I went to another counselor myself.
You did, but he didn't. So we're talking about your marriage at home, your home life. It still wasn't getting any better, and you felt trapped.
And this last counselor that I went to, I still have another appointment with him. He told me that I needed to get my head out of the sand and take steps to make things better for my son who was totally depressed.
Speaking of Joshua.
And, do something. And I took that to mean divorce is how I interpreted it. And so that's why I have consulted with 2 other divorce attorneys. This is not the first one. The other 2 were 2 free consultations. One was back, I think, in December or January. I don't remember when the other one was. And I finally decided that was it. That, after this last one, that, now I've had 3 professionals basically telling me that I needed to get away from him and I needed to divorce him. Not in those exact words,
Right.
but that's how I interpreted what
Correct.
they meant. And that's what I was going to do. That's why I called the attorney on Monday. And I was supposed to call him back on Tuesday. And then we were going to set an appointment for me to meet with him to start proceedings. And I was told that by the second one that I consulted with, that the first thing I needed to do was to file a restraining order and then file the divorce papers. Have him served with the restraining order, then have him served with the divorce papers.
Well, Sharon, I really and honestly wish that Gary would have lived to be served with a restraining order and then a divorce.
Well, that was my plan. That really was my plan. I know what I might have written in there, but I never would have went through with any of it. I never would have. I know what I wrote in those letters. Well, I don't know exactly what I wrote in those letters.
Well, we need to go over some of it because it's pretty damning. It really is. There's so many, I don't even know where to start, so we'll just start at the beginning. Is that your handwriting?
Yes, sir.
This is a photocopy of a letter that you sent Darryl. Is that how you would sign your name as mom?
Yes, sir.
Quoting you, you're writing, if some people go away, you can stay at the house and have a vehicle. Now, as I read over some of these things, I want you to try to imagine what a 20, 21, 22-year-old boy is thinking. And all he has to do is sit in a jail cell for 24 hours a day and think. Think about what mom's going through, his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what his little brother and his sister is going through. Because the picture that you paint for Darryl in these letters is enough to make any son want to defend his mother and his siblings. So either by intent or by inference, you put this in Darryl's mind, Sharon, and you need to take responsibility for that. You caused your son, your child, your flesh and blood to take a gun and shoot his father multiple times because you wanted out. You wanted Gary to go away. You wanted Gary to disappear. You said it in your letters, and your son took you at your word. Sometimes I wonder if we should try something or start devising a plan of some sort. I thought you wanted the 30-06 for something else.
He was talking about hunting, I know that.
He hunted all right.
Well, that's not when I said hunting.
Gary runs up to my work on Tuesday and Friday. He rides his motorcycle to work and leaves about 6:15 every morning. He did tell me that he gets up every night and sometimes goes outside to check things out. Talking about Joshua and Amanda, they are leaving on June 24th in the morning. Yes, That is where the Gator Farm is. Amanda has a Pontiac. Will gloves from me coloring my hair work as well? I was listening to the news, and there are so many break-ins and home evasions with guns being used. Sounds like a good alibi for Darryl.
Oh, that wasn't what.
No, if you want me to read the entire letter, it pretty much explains why you said that. You know what you were thinking, Sharon. As far as what you're going to do, details in parentheses, just so you know I'm not making words up, I would much rather be able to say I don't know anything, and that be the truth. Oh, I cannot make a copy of his key, but you can use the one I have. His key has a chip in it. Why can't I make copies of keys?
So you can have the trunk.
So you can have a getaway vehicle. I informed him I had a plan, and I was working on it. Joshua told me he wanted it to be a good one and quick. What I really want is for Gary to go away forever. I keep praying I will get a phone call to say that has happened, but not yet. Gary has been driving his motorcycle, and it is dark in the morning, and still nothing. If you know someone who would work for a motorcycle, please let me know ASAP. Someone who would not talk under any circumstances with me and work things. Okay. I am really hoping things will be in place very shortly. I'm not sure how much more I can take. The other thing is whatever you want to do or handle the problem, I do not want to know. That way, if asked, I can really say I do not know and mean it. I don't want to slip with something I shouldn't because I love you too much. I am glad you have a plan in mind. I will have ready what you asked for. And you honestly want me to believe, Sharon, that you and your son did not conspire?
I never thought
It's
he
right
would
here.
kill him. I know, but I never thought he would kill him.
It's right here.
What did you
Sharon.
think he was going to do?
I thought he was just going to scare him.
Oh, he scared him. Scared the life out of him. Literally.
He was going to kill him.
Let's keep going. I think it would be harder on Aunt Dell if you did it when you get out. So you knew he was going to do it when he got out.
Can I kill him?
I still believe there is only one way. I have had those feelings of homicide quite often lately. Can you contact that guy you said gets out in a month? And also, how quiet about it will he be? And what is in it for him? Son, I am so tired of all of it. I am about ready to do it myself. I am not sure how to, though. Your ideas, I think, would take too long. Anyway, where would you find either one of them quickly? What did you need $500 for? I am open to learn new things. I will do whatever you need me to do. The keys are not a problem. You say that you can make things disappear. I wish he would today. He told me one of the doors at work almost fell on him, and all I could think is it missed. After this weekend, I have decided to start finding a way to end all of this myself. Your ideas are good, but the time it will take, I don't think I can last. I wish he would go to work and never return. I keep hoping each day that I will get a phone call, but it has not happened yet. I did look into a few solutions and how not to get into any trouble for it. Now, to just get what I need to get the job done. I do so hate it. I have had some really bad thoughts and have even tested a thing or two. I wish you would go away and never come back. And there are consequences for every action. Well, he better be prepared for his. I have not had a chance to call the number you gave me, and no one has called me. I do want to let you know I have taken a few steps, but it is very scary. Conspiring to kill a person is scary. I agree. I really wish you would go away forever. Day after day after day. This is what your son's reading, Sharon. I have had some bad thoughts about him going back. I even have thought that he would go to work and not come home. If you want to take care of anything, you know what really is more important. By the way, I will be looking that guy up. We shall see what is going on. That guy came forward, just so you know. What did you mean when you said you were scared of what you could do or will do? I wish my problem to go away, but I do not want you to spend any more time in jail. So you were hoping you'd get away with it. I do believe I understand what you're saying, being torn in two directions. I know what needs to be done, but I'm afraid of what will happen. But then again, afraid of what will happen if I don't. I really wish you would go away forever and never come back, if you know what I mean. Your words, right? You wrote these, correct? I do really wish and pray that he would go away forever. I really wish Gary would go away and leave us all alone. Do you know anyone, this is important, do you know anyone who could help me with Gary? I hope so. And then you ended with, I love you very much. Mom. That's cheery. Darryl, I just want to tell you that I have had some really bad thoughts lately and have even thought about acting on them. Now this is from your son to you. These were taken out of your home. Mama, we will play dirty. We need to get Amanda to play along if she really wants Gary gone. You, under no circumstances, are to do anything to Gary. Just twist it. I'm going to feed the gators when I get out. Let me handle the situation when I get out. But if he so much as touches anyone again, I will torture him. Make sure you have the keys and $500 ready for me when I get out, okay? When I get out, we will go through everything, the works. Does Nana still have all the guns? Gary will pull a disappearing act in 86 days. I'm going to show him. P.S. Let me handle Gary, get it all planned out. Keep the motorcycle for me. Let me do it. Don't worry. Well, what Gary did to you was wrong, and if you don't have something done about it, I guess I will have to get gangster when I get out. Don't worry, I will take care of it when I get out. P.S. He will pay, and you're involved. Don't let him make you think you're unwanted, Mama. Loves you just as much as I do. I will do something. I heard how Dad is treating you, and I don't like it. I will do something about it when I get out. He followed Gary around. Did you know that? He drew maps. How to make homemade bombs. Letter after letter after letter. It goes on and on and on. I've been through 2 years of letters. That's just a few, Sharon. Why did you feel it necessary to have Gary killed? I didn't want it to happen. I didn't mean for it to happen. It ain't gonna work, Sharon. It ain't gonna work. You and Darryl Kinney conspired, planned, you gave financial support, you facilitated vehicle support, you put them up in a place, you told them where to get the guns, you helped your son kill Gary Kinney. Why did you do it? What drives a mother to write letters like that to her son? What drives a woman to try to get phone numbers of hitmen to kill her husband? It's all in black and white right here, Sharon. You can't deny it. You can't say it didn't happen. What you're saying about, oh, I didn't want that to happen, I didn't plan for that, it's lies. You're lying when you say that because you did plan for it. You did prepare for it. You wrote it down. That's where you f***ed up.
It went from thoughts to action. And you detailed it all out in these letters. Sharon, this is the time for you to tell us why it happened. Okay, this is the time to tell us. Right
You
here,
wanted
right
them
now.
dead, didn't
Not
you?
really, no.
You wanted them dead, didn't you?
Not really.
Time and time again, Sharon, you said you wanted them dead. You wanted them to disappear. You thought about pushing them over the edge at the gator farm. You thought about poisoning his potatoes. You wish you would have a wreck and die on the way to work. You wish the door would have fell on him and crushed his bones. Ain't that what you wanted? You wanted them dead. You wanted them dead for a reason. What's the reason? You obviously wanted them dead for a reason. You helped plan to get him murdered. You tried to help your son get away with the murder. You told your son to go move the body out of the house. Don't get it twisted. We got eyewitnesses. There's neighbors and friends of yours that were coming out of the movie theater, seeing you in the mall parking lot, talking to your son and Ruben Nero after Gary was dead. You can't hide anymore, Sharon. You're not getting away with it. You might have thought you were. You might have thought you were scot-free, but you're not. The only option you have left is to help yourself and tell me why you wanted Gary Kenny dead.
I didn't really want him dead.
You want me to read the letters again?
No.
You wanted him dead.
I wanted him to go away.
Forever?
No.
You wrote that.
Yeah.
You want me to read it? You wanted him
No.
dead. Why can't you admit it? Don't be scared now. When you were having these evil thoughts, you were strong enough to write them.
Gary once told me that if I ever divorced him, he would disappear forever and I would never see him again. That's what he told me.
What's that got to do with you and Darryl conspiring to have him killed?
I didn't really want him dead.
Well, you shouldn't have conspired with your son to kill him. When your son came to you when he got out of prison and laid out his plan for you,
I didn't know what he was doing.
bull. Don't forget, Sharon, Darryl's talking. He don't want to get the needle in his arm.
You know, when a person's backed into a corner, they're willing to tell all, okay? And when a person is facing their life, they're going to talk to us. It don't matter if you're mom, dad, brother, sister, all that is out the window. It's out the door, okay? And that's why we are here talking to you right now. All right, this is your opportunity. Not a lot of people get opportunities like this to tell your side of the story. All right, this is it. This is the time. This is where you need to start telling the truth, because all this other stuff that you've been talking about is not the truth.
It's not going to cut it.
It's not going to cut it. Okay? You tell me, you put, 6 people, 12 people, and you read these letters, and we present this evidence. What do you think a person's going to think? Put yourself in our shoes. What would you think?
I'm a horrible, horrible person.
No, nobody said that, okay?
I don't believe you are. I don't believe you're a horrible person.
Why would I think this?
I believe because you were pushed to that, Sharon.
Why would I write this?
You were pushed to that. You were pushed to conspire with your son to kill Gary. I got to know why. I already know you did it. I already know you planned. I already know you plotted. I know you had conversations with Darryl. When he got out, I knew you knew what Darryl was going to do.
You didn't even tell Gary he got out of prison because you didn't want him to know it.
Gary told me. He did. He was watching the internet. He knew. He knew it was out.
Well, I wish you would have packed a bag and ran.
Just like you told your daughter and your son to get out of the house, you should have told that to Gary too. Because you knew your son was coming to that house to kill Gary. That's why you told him to leave. All right? And that's why your daughter wanted to come back to the house and you wouldn't let her. Because she knew that if she was there, Darryl would not have done it. All right? And you told her, no, you're not going to go back because this thing is going to happen. All right? That is what you thought. That is what you said. All right? Sharon, this is the time, okay? Look at me. Look at me. All right? We need to know the truth, okay? We need to know what happened. We need to know what was going through your mind. We need to know what was going through your mind. Okay, Sharon? Sharon, look at me. Sharon, look at me. Sharon, we need to know why you felt it was that necessary to plan with your son to kill your husband. We're over the, okay, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. We know what happened. We know what happened. All right?
I never thought it was
Look
going
at me.
to, really. I really didn't think
Look
you
at me.
could believe me. I never really
What?
thought it was going to
No, that's not true because you knew it was going to happen because you told your daughter and your son to get out of the house. So that alone right there, without everything else, listen to me, that alone, you knew.
I was supposed to be home. You don't understand. I was supposed to be there.
So why weren't you?
Because she messed up.
Who messed up?
My daughter messed up. It wasn't me. She was supposed to be.
Sharon.
I was supposed to be home.
Listen to me, Sharon. Listen to me.
I was supposed
Sharon,
to be home. That's what you
Sharon,
understand.
I'm talking right now, okay? Look at me. Listen to me. All right? Amanda and Josh were at the house. You knew that this was going to happen. You told them to leave the house and walk down the neighborhood so you can pick them up away from the house. All right?
So Gary,
Listen. No. We're done over. We're through with all this. It wasn't supposed to happen. All these excuses that you're giving. All right? We know what happened. All right? We can show that. We can prove it. All that. All right? As I said before, what we need to know is why you thought it was necessary for this to happen. That's what we're here for, okay? We're not here to try to figure out how something happened. We know how it happened, all right? We're here to figure out why it happened. That's the answer that I want to know. That's the answer what Agent Kent wants to know. Sharon, why did this happen? That's why we're here, all right?
You want me to keep reading to help refresh your memory why it happened? Because look, I've got, this is just one box that we took out of Darryl's hotel room.
And Sharon, and we can go through these letters and we can look at them and we can go and present this to whoever. But you know what? If it doesn't come from you, what does it mean? I mean, what are people going to think? I mean, think about it.
Sharon,
No, nobody.
you were abused, weren't you? Weren't you? Tell me the truth. You were abused, weren't you?
Verbally, physically, when you were little, you were sexually abused. All of that. And this was prior to Gary. Your whole life, that is all you've known, Sharon. That's all you've known.
And you couldn't take it anymore. We understand that, Sharon. That's why you and your son conspired to kill Gary. So you could have an opportunity to make a new life with Amanda, who you feel you've already lost anyway. But you still got Joshua. You still have a chance to raise Joshua. But if you don't start telling the truth, Sharon, you're not going to have that chance. Do you want Joshua to think that his mother is a stone cold killer? Do you want that? No, you don't. You had a reason, didn't you? You wanted it to end.
I just wanted to be abused.
You wanted it to end. I
But I
understand.
really did. You gotta believe me. I really did not.
You may not have wanted it to happen.
I didn't want it
You
to happen.
You didn't believe that it was going to happen this way. But Sharon,
Oh God, what have I done?
what you've done is you conspired with your son to kill Gary. That's what you've done. And we've got to explain it. You've got to help me understand, Sharon. I want to help you. I want you to help yourself. It helps if you get it out. If you say, and you can dispel what you're feeling. Right now, you're torn up inside, Sharon. You wanted Gary dead, didn't you?
Not
He
really.
abused you for years,
I
Sharon.
wanted him to go away.
You were trapped. You were held in your life by every way a man can hold a woman down. He controlled your time, your phone, your mail, what you watched on television, how you talked, what you who you could talk to. You couldn't go to the gym, you couldn't go to the tanning bed, you had to sneak around to even do that. I can understand where that would put you. I can understand how that would force you to have these kinds of thoughts. Isn't that why? Aren't those reasons why you wanted Gary dead? Because you didn't.
Really want him.
Sharon, you're lying. You didn't want him dead. You said it time and time and time and time again. I've got 2 more boxes just like that.
I don't know why. I wrote
You
that
can't
thing.
sit here and say you didn't want him dead, Sharon. That ain't going to work.
I
'Cause the
might have wrote it, but I really, in my heart, I really didn't want him dead.
Then why, when Darryl told you what his plans are, why didn't you stop it?
Because I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
What did you think he was going to do, Sharon? Darryl came to you and laid out his whole plan. You even agreed with him to have the children out of the house, didn't you?
We were supposed to be back. I was supposed to be home.
Oh, but the children weren't.
No, I was supposed to be home.
So you were supposed to be there for them.
No.
Maybe this is worse than I thought.
No, I was supposed to be home. But Amanda didn't take Joshua like she was supposed to.
But you sure did stay going, huh? Didn't you? Don't you think I've tracked your cell phone? Even the prepaid that the DCF lady gave you, that Gary didn't know about. Uh-oh. Thinking now, aren't you? Sharon,
If you tracked it, then you know I was calling. I was looking for help.
maybe.
But I was.
But you had this little evil plan with Darryl because it made you feel powerful. It made you feel like you had some control. It made you feel like you had some ability in your life to affect change. And that's why you had these discussions with Darryl. Because it made you feel powerful. I understand that. Because Gary hadn't given you any power. Gary controlled everything in your life. And Sharon needed something for her. And even having the little dirty thoughts about killing Gary made you feel powerful. It made, you didn't do it. You didn't kill him. That's why you're not under arrest for first-degree murder, because you didn't kill Gary. But you did support, facilitate, and abet Darryl in doing it. Now we can lay out the proof and have you found guilty in 10 minutes. Or you can help me understand why you were pushed to that. We've already verified the fact that you were controlled and abused. You felt powerless. You felt lonely. You felt smothered. You wanted any woman would want out. You just happened to get pushed too far. And Sharon couldn't take it anymore. You wanted something done. You wanted it done right then.
Sharon, sometimes we do things that we normally would never do when we're put in a position, all right? And what Agent Kent is trying to explain to you is that, you know, over the years that we spent in law enforcement and you know, all the statistics and studies and everything, All right, when a woman is abused every single day, I'm talking verbally, physically, sexually, when they are abused on a regular basis, it does something to them. All right, it makes them do things they normally would not do. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. That's not what we're saying, Sharon. We're not saying that you're a bad person, because you know what?
I was a good person.
Listen,
I
and I know, and I know,
wouldn't read anything.
I know, Sharon, and that's why we're here.
People think
Sharon, listen to me, okay? You are not a bad person. We never said that here. Once again, Sharon, sometimes when you're, Sharon, sometimes when we're pushed, we do things that we normally would never do. And I think I believe that is what happened here. Okay? That is what I believe.
You might not have wanted it to happen, Sharon,
I really did.
but it did. And we've got to explain why you felt it necessary to take the steps that you took. Okay? I don't believe you wanted Gary killed,
I really did.
but you took the steps necessary to help it get done, Sharon. We got to explain that. You've got to help me. You've got to help me. You've got to help me explain why you did those things with Darryl.
Was it because he abused you? Is that why you did it? Sharon, was it the abuse? Was it the abuse? Sharon,
Was it because Gary abused you?
was it because of Gary abused you?
Me and my kid.
And you wanted to protect your children, didn't you?
But I never really wanted him to happen.
I believe that you didn't, Sharon, but you still took steps necessary to help that happen. You did those things, Sharon. I can't make them go away. I can't. But you got to tell me why. Why did you do it?
Was it the abuse? Because of you? Because not only you, but Darryl and Amanda and Josh, just repeatedly. That's all you saw was this abuse. That's what came at you every single day. Sharon,
Right here, we're not judging you, Sharon. We're not. We want you to help yourself. I'm right here. I'm going to be right here by you through this whole process. Why did you do this with Darryl? Did you need out that bad?
unless
We
we
had a
understand.
divorce. Really, I never wanted this to happen.
No, you didn't, but it did, Sharon. Why did you take the steps that you did? Is it because it made you feel powerful? It made you feel hopeful? Is Gary had taken all that from you?
No.
Or maybe it had nothing to do with power. It just had to do, you felt there was no other choice. Because you know what? All the studies that I said before, all right, women are faced with this choice every single day. Okay, this is not the first time that someone has been abused. Someone has been battered, physically, verbally, emotionally, because that just keeps you down. All right, that keeps you down, and you felt that there was no other choice. Is that what happened, Sharon? There was no other choice that you had, because you know what? If you divorced him, he's still going to be around. He's still going to be here. He's going to be coming at you, knocking on your door late at night, even if you have an injunction against him, Sharon. He's still going to be there.
He told me he'd disappear if I divorced him.
Sharon, the only option that was left was this. Because the anger was, listen to me, Sharon. Sharon, listen to me. The anger was building up. And you know what? You are not an angry person, Sharon. You know that? You seem like every time that we've met, you've been very respectful. You've been very nice. Your kids are very respectful. All right? When we met Amanda and Josh, they were very respectful towards us. And I know that you have raised them right. But there was a flaw. There was a flaw in the family, and it was Gary that was continually abusing you and your kids. And that's what you've seen every day. You didn't want Amanda, Sharon, you didn't want Amanda raised and going through the same things that you did. okay? Because when you were, 12, 13 years old, where you were 10, your dad died. All right, when you were 12 or 13 years old, your mom remarried. And then your stepfather began to abuse you. And you know what that felt like. And you did not want that to happen to your daughter. Did you not want that to happen to your son? Because I believe that, you know what, you probably could have handled everything, but when it started really affecting your kids, I think maybe that was what caused it. Maybe that was what, broke the straw that broke the camel's back right there. That was it. But we need to hear it from you, Sharon. We need to know what was going through your mind, why you chose to write these words and these letters. Listen, these words and these letters. Because if that was all we had, it really wouldn't mean a whole lot. But here's the problem, Sharon. You wrote the letters were acted upon, and the information in the letter was accurate as to what happened after that day. We cannot overlook that. We can't go back, as Agent Kent said. We are here right now, okay? This is the first day of the rest of your life. There is no way that you're going to be able to live with yourself with this inside you. There's no way. It's going to drive you insane, all right? You need to get it out. You need to release that. You need to tell us right now, right here, what was going through your mind, why you did what you did. We've already gone over the hump of how it happened, all right? We already know what happened. I believe I know why it happened, but unless I hear from you, Sharon, it never happened. What?
I didn't really want it to happen.
Okay, you didn't really want it to happen. What did you expect was going to happen when you told you're an influence on your son? You're influential towards your son? You realize that, right? You realize that his mommy, all right, you are his mommy. You are the one that he looks to for guidance, for directions. All these other girlfriends that he may have out here, they mean nothing, Sharon. You are his mommy. You are the one that raised him from a little baby. All right, you changed his diapers, you fed him, you brought him up to where he is now. Okay, yeah, he made some bad choices in life. We've all made bad choices.
Because he never listened to me.
Well, we all made bad choices. I can tell you right now, I didn't listen to my parents all the time. I know Agent Kent didn't either. We know each other very well. But you know what? That's your son. That's your firstborn. All right? And when you start writing these things in these letters, you being the influential person that you are in his life, he has nobody else. All these girls that he may be dating out here or friends, do you think that they wrote him letters? No. If they did, it was maybe once or twice in the couple of years he was in prison. You are the one thing that was constant in his life. When you started writing these things in these letters, what do you think that he's going to do? Do you think that he thought you were joking? That you were just playing a game? Do you think that he thought you really didn't mean it? No, because you are way too specific. Because not only did you talk about it in the letters, you talked about it when you went up there and visited him. It was face-to-face discussions. All right? Listen, you never went up there at all? Or when you came out, all right?
I never went
You went to the county jail.
Yeah.
When he got out, you guys discussed this. All right? You guys discussed this face-to-face. We have way too many people saying that you guys were together. You met Ruben Nero before this ever happened. All this different stuff, all right? All this stuff is coming together. And this is where we're at right now. We can't go back. This is the choices that you made. This is the choices that Darryl has made. And it's time that we have to explain why we made these choices. Sharon, where are we at? I need to know, was it the abuse that has caused you to do this?
Sharon, you keep saying that, and I'm here to tell you, sweetheart, it's bullshit. 100% tried and true, unadulterated bullshit. You wanted the man dead. You took steps to have him killed. You helped your son kill him. You can't get away from that, Sharon. You can't change it. I don't buy the whole point of I'm this little meek, abused, downtrodden woman, because you ain't even crying tears. You're cold-hearted, you're calculating, you're meticulous, and you thought you covered it all up. But guess what? You didn't. I've got you. You wanted him dead, didn't you? You wanted him dead, didn't you? You said it time and time and time and time again. You wanted him dead.
I didn't really want it.
You really want him? You wanted him dead, Sharon. Say it.
No.
Admit the truth. You wanted out. You wanted freedom. You wanted a chance to go down the road and carry on a life with Chris. Didn't you? And Gary was standing in the way of it all. Because of divorce, Gary would have got half the money.
It's okay.
Gary would have got the house. You couldn't even find a place to live. You told Darryl all about that too. But if Gary's out of the way, oh, you got a place to stay, and so does Darryl. Hell, he can even have a car. You wanted him dead, Sharon. Didn't you?
No.
Yes, you did. You say it again. You say it time and time and time again. You can deny it all you want. But the proof is here. The proof is sitting in your son in the county jail right now. You wanted him dead. Your own son says you wanted him dead. Why can't you admit it?
Because I didn't really want that.
It's bullshit. You wanted him dead, Sharon. Didn't you?
Not
Didn't
really.
you?
Not really.
Not really ain't going to cut it. You really wanted him dead.
No.
You wanted to push him in a gator farm. You wanted to poison his potatoes. You wanted him to have a car wreck. You wanted doors to fall on him. You hoped the meteor would fall out of the sky and knock him off his motorcycle. Anything to get him out of the way. Didn't you?
Sharon, how can I explain these letters?
Anger.
Anger, okay. What did you mean by, do you know anyone who could help me with Gary? What did you mean by that? Tell me the anger that you were going through at that point. Don't think about anything other than what the truth is, okay?
I am. When I wrote that, I was looking at the sentence I wrote before, which actually explains that. He got angry with me because I was sick, and I wasn't paying attention to him.
Okay, so what is, do you know anyone who could help me with Gary have to do with you being sick?
I just wanted him to go away. I didn't want him dead. I just wanted him to go
Okay,
away.
so you want him to go away forever on that one, all right? So what guy were you looking up right there on this one? By the way, I'll be looking that guy up. We shall see what is going on. Huh?
I wrote that, but I never looked anybody up.
Okay, well, what guy were you talking about? You always had some type of communication about a guy.
I honestly don't know.
You don't remember that one. Okay.
No, I honestly don't remember who that was, and I wasn't.
You being honest with me?
As I'm being very
Okay.
honest with you, no. I don't know who that was, and I never actually looked them up.
Okay. I want my problem to go away, but I do not want you to spend any more time in. I'm assuming you're referring to prison?
In other words, I wanted Gary to go away, but I didn't want Darryl to do anything stupid.
Okay. So you obviously had some idea that your letters were being an influence to him.
I guess so.
You guess so. Okay. So all these things that you're writing, you understand that Darryl was getting these letters, and as I said, the influential person that you are, you were basically telling him that you wanted him gone forever. You just said that you believe that was what he is probably understanding, right?
What I meant by that and how he took it are two different things.
Excuse me?
I said what I meant and how he took it are two different things.
What? Explain on that. I don't understand what you mean.
I wanted him to leave me alone, go away. But like I said, Gary told me before that if I ever divorced him, he would disappear.
No. Get off on that. Bring that back up because that's irrelevant. Okay. What I'm saying is you are, as I said before, you are the influential person in his life, correct? Correct. You have to admit to that at least. Correct. Okay. All right. You telling him all this stuff. I really wish he would go away forever and never come back if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Of course, I added the emphasis there of wink, wink, hint, hint. You didn't write that, but I really wish he would go away forever and never come back if you know what I mean. What did you mean?
Divorce him and he would go away.
No. That's not going to cut it, Sharon. That's not going to cut it. All right? How do you think these letters are going to look?
I'm a horrible person.
Put yourself in my shoe right now. What would you think? Knowing what we just read to you, knowing what you wrote in these letters, what would you think? You generate a lot of thoughts because you put thoughts on all these letters, so I know you're a thinking person, okay? What would you think, Sharon, if you were in my shoes and I was in your shoes and you had everything that we just presented to you? What would you say? Would you say that I would be responsible? Do you think that I was, convinced my son that this needs to happen? I conspired with him? Would you think that? Sharon, I'm asking you a question.
Probably yes.
Probably yes. Okay.
That's
Now just listen to me. All right. With that being said, Sharon, so we have an understanding that this is significant, correct? These letters, everything that's gone on here today, or this past few days, starting on Monday when we got called out there, all right, it's significant. And you would think if you were in my shoes, all right, and I was in your shoes, you would think that, yes, I conspired with my son to kill my husband. We understand that. Okay. Now, where are we at? The only thing that we have to figure out is not how, because we already know how. And you have the understanding that, yeah, it looks very bad. Okay? This is very damning evidence that we have. With not only the letters, but all the witness testimony that we have, everything that we have, it's very damning evidence. So we're beyond, as I said before, how something happened. What we need to talk about right now is why, as I already said before. And you see what you're doing, Sharon, is you're believing yourself. All right, you're convincing yourself. You just keep repeating over and over and over again that all you wanted him was to go away. You don't want him to get hurt. You don't want him to get hurt, and you're convincing yourself. Okay, and what you're doing is you're avoiding the truth. You're being somewhat truthful on obviously recognizing that you wrote these letters. These are angry thoughts that you had at the time. All right, but what you're doing is the truth right here, and you're kind of avoiding the truth and going around because you're basically in a spot now where you're okay. This is a kind of like a safe zone for you, because if you cross over to the truth of what happened out here, there's consequences to our truth. All right, but what I need to be able to explain the truth. All right, I know what happened out there. I know what's been going on in your life. But what I need is to hear why these things happen. Because I can go and I can talk to the state attorney's office, I can talk to my boss, I can talk to everybody and say that, yeah, I believe that she was a battered woman and she felt she had no choice. You know what they're going to do? They're going to flush it down the toilet because I didn't hear from you. That's what they're going to do. Because if you sit there and you continue to not be truthful and you continue to have this little saying that you're doing of, I didn't mean him to get hurt. I didn't mean any of this to happen. That's not going to work. All right? I need the truth, Sharon. I need to know, was it the abuse that caused you to be pushed over the edge? Was it the abuse of your kids that pushed you over the edge? Was it a combination of both? Was it something that he said that just, you knew that unless he was completely gone, and I'm not talking about divorce. I'm not talking about getting an injunction or, all that stuff. When I say gone, I mean dead. All right? Gone forever. This is something that you have inside of you right now. All right? And this is something that, as I said before, you're going to live with for the rest of your life. It's not choices that I made. It's not choices that Agent Kent made or anybody else. This is a choice that you and Darryl made. Okay? And now is the time for you to tell me why this happened. I need to hear it from you, Sharon. What was it, the abuse that caused this? Answer me. Was it the abuse that caused this?
For me to think this way, yes.
What's that?
For me to think this way, yes.
For you to think this way, yes. Okay, so this is a start. All right? This is a start. And I can relate to that because you know what? Now I look at you as human. I look at you as a person. I have a mama myself. And I know that if my dad abused my mom, I wouldn't want to do the same thing. All right, I would want to go after my dad as well because I love my mom and I don't want anybody to hurt her. All right, and that's what Darryl was thinking with you. He doesn't want anybody to hurt you, including his dad, who is your husband. All right? So we understand, all right, the way you were thinking about this, why you were thinking about this is because of the abuse. You felt that there was no other option, right? Divorce, okay? We've already talked about that. All right, we're talking about what facts we have of this case, okay, this investigation here. All right, we're not talking divorce at this point because you had other plans. As I said, you knew the divorce would not bring the closure that you need in your life. There was only one thing that you felt would bring closure. All right, and that's what we're here talking about. It's not about divorce because he was still going to be around. He wasn't going to, you knew he wasn't going to leave. And maybe it was conversations that you guys had where you knew he wasn't going to leave because maybe he told you. Maybe you guys talked about divorce in the past and he said, you know what, you divorce me and I'll be your worst enemy. I'll be your worst nightmare. Maybe he said that. I don't know. I don't know all the conversations that you guys have had up to this point.
If I divorced him, he would disappear forever.
Okay.
I would never find him. I would
Okay.
never get another penny out of him.
So
And I accepted that.
okay. So with that being said, all right, if you divorced him and there was going to be closure because he was going to leave forever, why did you still write these things in this letter?
Just anger. A lot of anger.
Okay. Tell me about the anger. Tell me.
Just the way he treated me, the way he treated the kids. He was always yelling at us for everything. I mean, he yelled at my son for because my son got mad and he wanted to go in the house because he didn't want to play football anymore. I don't understand, but he got up in his face and he was yelling at him and telling him he's going to beat him if he didn't stay up there and play. That made me angry.
Okay. And what thoughts were going through your mind at that point?
Just angry at him.
Okay. Well, I can tell you when I get angry, I come up with thoughts. All right. I think of maybe getting even with a person
I
or
wanted to yell back
did you? Why not?
because Joshua was there.
Okay.
I didn't want to follow what Joshua was. I didn't want him to see me with the same anger his father had.
So you didn't want Josh to see you with the same anger that he had. All right.
He was already dealing with too much. He was a 10-year-old boy who thought he needed to protect his mother.
Mm-hmm. Sharon.
Just loved him a long time ago.
But you did because you couldn't. You couldn't leave him.
I could have. I just chose not to.
You chose not to. And it just reached the point of no return.
But I wanted.
What?
If I would have, none of this would have happened.
None of this would have happened because you would have been long gone. But you know what? We can't live in the past. All right, we're living here now in the present. All right, we all make choices in our life. We all have to answer to our choices that we make, and that's why we're here. All right, because you made a choice. Darryl made a choice. But unless I know why you made that choice, why Darryl made that choice.
No idea. I know. I don't know. I guess he thought he had to protect me.
Because you told him. Because you told him of all the abuse. And not only that, he knew of the abuse. And you continued repeatedly, letter after letter after letter after letter. There's letters in here that said that Gary said that you couldn't even pet a dog properly because he yelled at you. All right? Every single aspect of your life was scrutinized by Gary, was just made fun of, was you were abused about, and you know, told you can't do anything right, and just were over and over and over and over and over again. All right, until there was a point of no return. You want a drink of water? No.
What are you doing? How you feeling? What's going on? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Have a seat. Sharon, what's going on? What's going on?
I didn't want this to happen. They won't believe me. I didn't really want this to happen. I never thought you'd do anything like that. I really did.
Okay.
Help me, please. Help me. I never wanted this to happen.
Okay. Let's have a seat up on the chair. Let me talk to you. I haven't talked to you in a while. Come on. Come on. Come on. Stand up and have a seat. Come on. Come on. There you go. Have a seat.
Please help me.
Okay.
I didn't want to do that because I never thought he'd do anything like that.
What's going on? What's going on? I know, Sharon, I know very little about this case, okay? Look at me, okay?
Why are you even?
Okay? Well, because I told him I know you. You know, we used to talk, remember when Darryl had some problems, right? Okay?
They won't believe me. They think I'm lying to
Okay.
but I'm not.
But here's where it is, okay?
I understand what they have. I never really wanted
I
it
know.
to happen.
I
I didn't
know.
think he'd do it.
Listen to me, okay? Listen to me. Listen to what I have to say to you, okay? Okay? It's almost at the point. Listen, do you listen to what I'm telling you? Take a couple minutes because I want you to hear what I'm going to tell you, okay? I want you to hear what I'm going to tell you. Okay? So I need you to listen to me, okay? I want you to concentrate on what I'm going to tell you, okay? Because it's very important, okay? Okay? Listen. Everybody in life, sometimes good people make bad choices, okay? Good people make a bad choice. Sometimes they're put in a corner, okay? And they have nowhere else to go because they're in that corner. And a good person makes a bad choice, okay? Everybody understands that. Everybody can understand that, okay? But what they don't understand, and what people don't understand, is when you have all this, when you have everything like this, it makes a person look very bad. It doesn't make like a person made a bad choice. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It was just anger.
It was just anger?
I never wanted to.
Okay, it was just anger? Why were you were, I didn't know you were having these problems at home.
I didn't want to.
Okay, all right,
I called you guys. You guys came out.
okay. So sometimes,
There's been case reports. I got nothing.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes people feel they have no other choice and a good person makes a bad choice.
I didn't really want him dead. I know I wrote those things, but
Why would you write those things? You know Darryl. You know what kind of temper Darryl has.
I never thought he would do it.
I know, but you wrote it in your own handwriting.
I know.
And I just saw a little bit of it. I didn't see a lot of it. Does it, if you were in my shoes, what would you think? What would you think?
A horrible person.
Right, a horrible person. Right? Not a person who made a bad choice because they were put in a situation. I just want to know what that situation was that would make you do this. Because looking at you now, you were always so professional and such a well-dressed professional woman. You're not the usual people we deal with here.
No,
Do you think you made a bad choice?
in communicating these things with Darryl. Because if I really would have known.
You had to know, because look at Darryl. You know Darryl goes off. Remember, we were talking to Darryl, and I told him. You told me yourself that he had a very bad temper.
But in my heart, yes, he was my son.
Right. But he was the only person that you could turn to. Who else in the world do you trust?
The counselors I've been talking to.
But the counselors couldn't help you with this.
They told me what to do, and I was working on it.
What were you working on?
A divorce.
Okay.
I consulted, had 2 free consultations, and one day I actually called a different one.
Okay.
And I was supposed to call him on Tuesday.
Sure.
I wish I would have had the Tuesday to
But
call
I'm
him.
looking at the stuff that you wrote. That is calculated. That's not something that you didn't know. You're an intelligent young lady.
I didn't really want it.
Huh? You knew. I'm just trying to figure out why. Why would you make this bad choice? I don't want to think that you're a calculated killer. I don't want to think that. I don't want to think that. And I don't want to think that. I think you made a bad choice. I don't want to think that you planned this for the last 84, 85 days. You've been planning this.
No.
Calculated every step of the way. You were calculating. That's not you. What happened to you that put you in a position where you had to make this bad choice?
Everybody told me he was dangerous.
Everybody told you he was dangerous? What would he do that was dangerous?
The last counselor.
Who told you he was dangerous?
The counselor was saying,
Were you afraid of him?
told me that I needed to get away from him because he was dangerous.
Okay, what would make them say he was dangerous? What did he do that was dangerous?
He was just irrational in his thinking.
He was irrational in his thinking?
I mean, he would do things like, I'd be watching a movie and he'd be watching it with me. Everything was good.
Uh-huh.
And he decided it was time for bed.
Right.
And if I didn't jump up, he'd get mad at me
Okay.
and throw pillows at me.
Okay.
I don't understand why. I don't
Okay.
know why.
Why? Well, see, people can understand that. Okay?
I mean, why? I mean, just because of being good or bad, why would he have to throw things at me?
There's no reason why he would have to do that. There's no reason why he would have to do that.
I was picking up weeds and he threw his wrench. I don't know why.
He threw a wrench too? Really?
I don't know why though. I was right there. I was doing exactly what he wanted me to do. I just didn't sit in the chair. That's all I did.
But that wasn't good enough, was it? Anything you did wasn't good enough for him, was it?
And the counselor told me he was a demon.
And he was
And he was dangerous and I needed to take my kids and leave.
right. Okay.
So I was
Were
sending them away.
Were you
I was
afraid?
sending them away.
Where were you going to send them to?
My parents.
Okay. Did you tell your parents you were going to send them over to their house?
They knew.
Did you tell them?
They live in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
We booked flights. Gary said it was okay, so I thought that would be a good time to serve him with papers because he wouldn't be.
Did you tell your parents you were going to come up there and live with them?
No.
Okay. See, this is what I'm.
They
going,
told me to.
Let me just back up a little bit. This is what I'm going back to. You end up writing all this stuff about how you wish he was gone. Okay. Then you tell me now that you're going to send the kids up to Pennsylvania, but you never told anybody.
No, he knew.
You knew who?
Gary
But
knew.
Gary's not here anymore. But
He
Gary-
knew. Everybody knew that they were going to.
But Gary's not here anymore. And now we're put in a position where you are planning this with Darryl. Okay?
I never would
Yeah,
understand.
I know you say that, but it's a little beyond that right now. Okay? And I'm looking at you right in your eyes, and I'm telling you it's beyond that. Okay? You're shaking your head. Okay? And I'd much rather believe that a good person made a bad choice than to think that it was just in cold blood that you did this. Okay?
I never really wanted this to happen. And I don't think you believe me either.
Well,
I think I really wanted this. I really did.
I came in here because I figured I knew you from the bank and the past cases I had, and I knew in my heart that there had to be it just.
He just was constantly on me.
Mhm.
He was constantly on my case.
Constantly on your case.
Me and the kids.
Right. Did you want him gone?
Out of my life, yes.
Out of your life?
But he told me if I ever divorced him, he'd leave and never find him again.
Okay, so that would be just what you wanted then, wouldn't it be?
So that's why I was filing for divorce. I figured he.
When were you going to file for divorce?
I called Monday and the lawyer wasn't in, so I didn't talk to him on Monday.
Okay, so who lawyer did you call?
Gundy.
Who?
Gundy. But he was the
Gundy.
third one. He's not the first one I
Okay,
called.
what are the lawyers that you called?
Miss Riddle's
Did you actually talk to
sister.
somebody?
Yes, I talked to Mrs. Riddle's sister, December, January. And then I talked to another one on the phone. Where is he located? I can't remember his name offhand.
Okay.
I know I called Gordon, I think his name is, and to find out what his fee was.
Okay. All right.
And then Gundy, I did call him on Monday, and I just decided that.
And do you think I'm an honest person?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So everything I'm going to tell you is going to be honest. Okay. And I find it hard to believe that you're afraid of this man to the point where he's throwing stuff at you, controlling you to the point where you have to go to bed when he does. And I understand that some mail had to go to a neighbor's house. You can't even have mail come to your house. And you write to your son, Darryl, and you tell Darryl certain things in these letters, and you're saying that you had no idea in the world that he was going to do this, knowing Darryl's history of his anger. Talking about gator bait, talking about different things that you had no idea in the world that this was good. I don't believe that. I don't believe it.
No, I really didn't think he would do it.
See, I don't believe it. I'm honest with you, and I'm always going to be honest with you. Okay, like I said, it boils down to two things: either you calculated this cold-bloodedly, or you were just a good person that got put in a position and you made a bad choice. That's where it is. That's exactly where it is. Okay, and everybody looks at. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm by far the smartest guy in the world. I'm probably at the bottom of the food chain on brains. Okay, But there's going to be a lot of smart people that take a look at this, and they're going to take everything and take a look at this. And what do you think they're going to think? They're going to think that you, who knew your son, had an anger problem, put an idea in his head, told him you would do certain things that try to help him out to get this done. There were certain things that happened after it was done that came out. And you didn't have any idea this was going to happen. You didn't want it done. Even though you're in a bad relationship, this guy is a monster, basically. He's very controlling. He throws things at you. And you had no idea this was going to happen. You didn't have any part of this. Rather than a person that would say, you know what? These are the facts. He was very abusive. He threw things at me. I was afraid to death of him. I was afraid he was going to hurt my kids. People understand stuff like that when people do things. They don't understand when a person will come in here, not be truthful, and try to dodge the facts that are there. And people are going to take it out, lay everything out, and take a look at it. And they're going to see it. It's all there. It's not like it's all broken up pieces all over. It's right there. Okay? And I just want you to think about that for a minute and make a good choice. Okay? Do you need some water? A little drink? Make a good choice. Be truthful and make a good choice. Okay? Because a lot of smart people are going to look at this. There's two choices right now. Two. Okay? I want you to make the right choice. Huh?
I can't believe I did
Did
that.
it go a little further than you wanted it to?
I never wanted, I'm really deep in my heart. I never
Did you have,
stabbed.
people always say they have two sides. There's always two sides of somebody. Did one side you really want that to happen, and the other side, you ever see the little devil and the little angel on both sides? Did you have that going on where one side you wished it would happen, the other side didn't want it to happen?
Natural causes, yes. But to actually have somebody.
Did you ever think about it? Did you ever think about him dying?
As far as.
Did you ever wish it?
Don't we all at some point?
Yeah, yes we do. See, and if you would have told me no, I would say, you're not being honest with me.
We all do at some point. Somebody that we're angry at.
Right.
But
were you angry all the time at him?
we had some good times.
Was there more bad times than good times?
I think so.
More bad times than good times?
But I mean, there were some there. Not many.
Not many good times? Okay. I'm just trying to understand a little bit, you know. It's not that it happened, it's why it happened. Okay?
Because of my anger.
Why is the big thing? Because of what?
I think because of my anger towards Gary.
Your anger towards Gary? Okay. What tell me about that. What kind of anger did you have towards him?
Just that no matter what I did, what I said, I mean, he'd ask me a question, I'd answer it. If it wasn't the way he thought I should have answered it, he'd get angry with me.
What would he do?
He would raise his voice at me, or it became a big lecture because, you know, maybe I didn't answer him the right way or something. You know, it just all depends, you know. I mean, you know, he's like, well, you know, we need to talk. And I would tell him how I felt. And, you know, if I told him that, you know, I didn't appreciate him yelling at me,
Right.
he would yell at me even more. And he's like, you know, what do you mean I'm not, you know, I'm yelling at you.
You think that was right for him to be like that? Did you deserve that?
No.
Right. You didn't deserve that, did you?
Not if he's going to ask me how I feel and what I think. I mean.
Right. You're a good mother?
I don't know anymore. I thought I was, but no.
Okay.
Look what I did to Darryl. If I was a good mother, I wouldn't have done that. I didn't mean to do that. But if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be there.
Because
If it wasn't for me.
right, and your plan. I mean, your plan is spelled right out in plain black and white. It was your plan. I mean, Sharon, I know that. It's not, that's what I'm saying. It's now it becomes a question of why it happened. I mean, I'm sorry it happened. And I'm sorry that you were put in that position. I really am. I really am sorry that you were put in that position. Okay? That you had to do things that you had to do. And you felt there was no other option. I hope and pray that I'm never in that position. Okay? I really do. Okay? But once again, and I hate to keep going back to it, but it all boils down to, is there no remorse about what happened? I mean, is it just?
I hate it. I hate this whole thing. I wish I could go back and if I would have went home. And I keep saying that.
But see, there's another thing. I mean, in the letters, you were saying that don't be home. Don't be in that. Nobody will be there. He'll be there by himself.
He was never home alone, really.
Well, he was that day.
That's my fault.
Yeah, because you picked your other 2 kids up on Courtney and took them to the mall.
Because the truck wasn't back.
Well, because you knew he was coming to the house.
No, the truck was supposed to be back
Okay.
before then. And I was actually supposed to be home.
Okay. But see, this is the stuff that's gonna come out that makes it so you don't look so good, okay? It doesn't make you look so good. And that's what I'm worried about. Okay? I am. I want you to realize that it's not it boils down to the 2 things like we talked about. Okay, and you have to make that choice. You have to make that choice. Okay? And I came in here to try to, you see a comforting face, and maybe it'd be easier to talk to me. Okay. And I was hoping. And I was hoping that we could.
Hey.
I'm so sorry, Amanda. It's my fault, Amanda.
Stop being weak and don't take the blame like you always do, Mom.
It's my fault, Amanda.
Don't say anything, Mom. Come on. I'm not kidding.
You're gonna hate me for all of this. I'm sorry. You didn't do anything stupid, did you, Amanda? You didn't hit him or anything. I heard them saying it.
No, I didn't hit them.
It's okay. Amanda's upset. Something's wrong. Amanda's not in any trouble.
But you know what needs to happen?
Have a seat.
I never went this time.
Have a seat. Have a seat, Amanda.
Never went.
Here, Amanda. Have a seat. Here. Sit down. Sit down, we can all talk. There is not a part of me that believes that your mother or you wanted this to happen. I believe that.
You think I'm responsible?
I think that there were some bad decisions made.
Everybody says things they don't mean. It doesn't, just because people say things, it doesn't.
I wrote things, Amanda.
I know, I saw.
This is how I feel, but that doesn't.
Just because she said that doesn't mean she wants it to happen. And you can't want to respond for that. By the way, that other guy's a jerk.
That's been said about it before.
He was
No.
very mean to me.
I don't believe.
No, you gotta believe me. No matter what happens, you gotta believe I never wanted.
I know you did, Mom. I know, Mom.
I never wanted this to happen.
Mom didn't tell
They don't believe me. They think I
Mom,
wanted this to
I
happen.
believe, Mommy. I really believe you. I know you, Mom. Mom, I know you.
You know I would do anything to protect you guys, but I never wanted this to happen. I was divorcing your father. You didn't know that. I never told you. I consulted 3 attorneys, and I was divorcing him while you guys were gone. You didn't know that. I didn't want to tell you until you guys came back. And I was doing it so he wouldn't take it out on you guys. I was doing it then so that he wouldn't have to put up with it when he was served. I was trying to shield you.
Mommy, I know, Mommy.
I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault.
That's why I kept pushing you to get scholarships, because I figured I had to do it all on my own.
I know, Mom.
With just my income, because your father said he'd disappear forever if I ever divorced him. And he would never help out. So that's why I kept trying to get you to do that. Because I knew I couldn't afford college on my income.
I know, Mom. I know.
I just figured he would, because he kept telling me what. And I'm so sorry. Because I never wanted.
I know.
But if I would have written those things, Darryl probably wouldn't have done it.
Darryl already hated Dad.
I know, but I just added fuel to the fire. And I really never thought he'd do it. You remember me telling you no, he wouldn't do it? It's his
No, I
father, he
remember.
wouldn't do it.
I remember. I told him that, but they're jerks, Mommy. They don't know us, so.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She wouldn't do
And they think I had something to do with it.
this. No, baby, you didn't have anything to do with this.
No. Mom,
I wasn't afraid of your father yelling at me. Just went home.
how many you told me that? I tried to tell them that, but they wouldn't let me have a good word in.
If I would have just listened. And just went home.
I need you to step outside, man.
Come on, man.
Your mom wants to talk to me. She has that right to talk to me.
Come on, Mom.
Baby, I love you so much. I love you too. I'm so sorry. I never wanted this to happen. I really didn't.
Come on, you want?
Step outside for a minute. See what he has to say.
See you tonight. Sharon, I didn't want it to go this far. I really didn't.
I didn't want it to go this far. I didn't want Darryl to really do it. I really didn't.
Sharon, that's not gonna work when I go to jury with this.
What do you want me to tell you? That I wanted this to happen? That I planned all this and then...
No, what I want you to tell me is why. I already know that you planned it. I already know that you knew it was gonna happen, Sharon. We're past that point. I want you to tell me why you felt that you had to go that far.
I thought I had another way out. I really did. I thought divorce was going to be it. I really thought he was going to disappear like he told me he was going to.
Look, Sharon, sweetheart, when you meet with Darryl before he kills Gary, and then on the way, and then you facilitate getting Amanda and Joshua out of the house, and on the way to the mall, you look at your daughter and you say, "Do you really think he's going to do it?" That's your daughter's sworn testimony.
I didn't say it to her.
Yes, you did. He's not really going to do it. I don't believe
That was
he'll
at the
really
mall.
do
We were at the mall, and that's when she told me what he told her.
it. No. That's not what's being said. That's not what Amanda said. Amanda has been at her girlfriend's house running her mouth. I don't want to drag Amanda and Joshua into this. I don't. But you bear some responsibility in this, Sharon, and you're dancing around it. Because
I know if I wouldn't have written those things to Darryl.
when Darryl met you before he killed Gary, you could have stopped him.
I saw him in the morning, that was it.
You knew what was going to happen, Sharon. You
No, I
could have.
didn't think he was going to do
You
it.
didn't think he would go through with it,
No. I didn't think he would do it.
but he
I
did.
didn't think he would do anything like that.
You should have called one of us. You should have called Mike Spatafor and asked for help. But you didn't. Because you were afraid of getting your son in trouble. I understand that.
I didn't think he would do it.
I know you didn't think you would do it.
I didn't think he, I thought, I know he hated his father, but I thought with just the concept that it was his father, that he would never do anything like this.
Because that's the world the rest of us live in, Sharon. That we don't think the worst of people.
I never do.
I don't either. I don't like having to be here, having these conversations with you, Sharon. I hate it. But I cannot turn my eye against and away from what I have. The evidence that I have. You've got to explain that somehow, Sharon.
It was anger that made me write those things.
So you were angry, and I understand that. I do.
But I really, like I told Mike, I really, deep down in my heart, I really did not want it to end like this. I wanted to divorce him. I didn't want it to end like this.
But you had to have known, at least have a suspicion, Sharon, that Darryl was going to do something stupid.
At the worst, if I would have thought anything, at the worst, maybe rough him, beat him up. But I didn't even think that would happen because my husband had been working out and he was in good shape.
But Darryl had an accomplice who stood 5 feet away with a 12-gauge shotgun. Darryl didn't stand a chance. Gary didn't stand a chance. You need to know what Gary went through. If you wanted Gary to be afraid, he was afraid. If you wanted Gary to disappear, he was going to. But we happened to get there first. Because Darryl and Ruben were on the way back to your house to put Gary's body in the bed of that pickup truck and take him to the Gator farm near Christmas. That's what they were on the way back to do. A deputy sheriff happened to be at the house because he was investigating the burglary of the firearms from the grandparents' house. The deputy walks up, looks in the door standing up, looks down, and there lays Gary, shot to death. He calls for help. 2 or 3 deputies standing out front now. They look up. Here comes Gary's truck down the road with Darryl behind the wheel and Ruben riding shotgun. Deputies try to stop them. What do? Flip around and take off running. After they shot Gary, after Darryl shot Gary, because nobody else fired any shots, Gary wasn't dead yet. Darryl went back in a second time and finished him off. Darryl is a criminal. That's never going to change.
Did I raise
No,
that?
no, you didn't raise that.
I raised that.
No.
What did I do wrong with my children?
The
I
system,
raised that.
the system is responsible for that.
No, I raised that.
That's hard to face. When he came and met you at the mall, you advised him that he needed to try to clean up the house some.
I told him he had to take the truck back. Because I was surprised to see him with the truck still. Because I even
And he
said to
told
my
you,
kids,
he told you it's done. Didn't he? Think, Sharon. In the mall parking lot, Darryl told you that it was done.
Mhm.
He did.
If he did, I still didn't take him serious.
And you were probably terrified.
I didn't take him serious though. If he did, I really, even at that point, I know you don't believe me.
No, Sharon, I want to believe you.
You tell me the truth. If he told me that at that time, I didn't believe him. I didn't think he'd ever do it.
You didn't think he would do it when you and him talked about it before Gary was killed, did you? You didn't think he would actually go through with it, did you?
I never thought he would kill his father. Never.
So obviously, if you didn't think he would do it, you and him had conversations where Darryl told you he was going to do it, didn't he?
I don't ever remember talking to him
Oh,
about
you need to try to
actually
remember,
doing it.
Sharon. You really do. And I'm not trying to paint you out to be a bad person, but saying I didn't know and I didn't talk to Darryl and I didn't
I
help
did
him
talk.
plan it, Sharon, that ain't gonna work.
I did talk to him, but the last thing I remember saying to him that Monday morning was, keep your nose clean and go find a job. And then I went to work.
What did you think when Darryl shows back up with this black guy?
That was in the mall parking lot.
That was before Gary was killed.
I didn't see him before then. I did not see him before then.
He called you.
Yeah, I talked to him. And I told him he needed to get home, get that truck dropped off before his father got home.
Look, Amanda is throwing things at detectives. Mad as hell. Because she is 17 years old and doesn't have the life experience that you do. She doesn't know how to react to all of this. But we've got to answer these questions, Sharon, or this is not going to end. Joshua didn't know anything about it, did he?
No.
Had Joshua, he said some pretty disturbing things to you in the past, hasn't he? About wanting Gary gone.
That's why I was taking him to counseling.
What did he say? Did Joshua want Gary dead?
I don't know.
Was Gary that guy kind of father? That's what I'm looking for. Was Gary really that bad of a person?
Joshua told me he wanted me to divorce him and get him out of his life.
That would lead any mother to extreme measures.
That's why I was taking him to counseling. I was taking Joshua to counseling because I wanted the anger or whatever it was he was dealing with that he was talking to me about. Because I didn't understand what was going on. I mean, I understood, but I didn't know how to help him. You know, I knew my 10-year-old son was crying for help. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to help him.
You hated Gary. I know you did. I don't blame you.
I don't know that I hated him. I've been with him for so long.
You hated him, Sharon.
I wasn't in love with him.
Just tell me the truth.
Some days I did.
Just tell me the truth. And this all ends. And you will not have to live with this on your shoulders.
Cause no. Cause no. My husband's dead. My son's in jail. My 10-year-old son's gonna hate me when he finds out the cause of it all. And my daughter's next door. All because I wrote those things. Because I was angry at their father. Very angry.
And you just wanted them gone.
I wanted him out of my life. But I didn't want him dead. I know I wrote things when I was angry.
You didn't stop Darryl.
I should have.
You helped him along and you should have stopped him.
I didn't mean to.
Why didn't you stop him? Because you were that hurt.
I didn't think he would do it. I didn't think he would do anything like that.
I know you didn't. But he did.
I don't think you believe me. I really.
Sharon, I really do believe you. I really believe that you didn't think he would do it. But the bottom line is it happened.
It's my fault in a way.
Yes.
It's not my fault.
You bear some responsibility in it. Because you planned things and you set things in motion and you put seeds in his head that grew into homicide.
If I would have known that, if I really would have known, it would have gone that far. I never would have wrote those things.
But you did. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know that you've convinced me enough that you don't bear some guilt. I don't think the jury's gonna believe it either.
I wouldn't have wrote those things.
If you wouldn't have wrote those things, and if you had stopped Darryl when he got out of prison, if you wouldn't have helped him get the gun, if you wouldn't have provided him transportation, if you wouldn't have given him money, then yes, Sharon, it might not would have happened Monday. It was going to happen. Gary was going to be murdered. You asked for your son to find someone to help you with the Gary. You asked your son to find someone that would murder Gary for a motorcycle and then not say anything. Sharon, you wrote it. You thought it, you wrote it, you took action to see that it happened.
I would have.
But you did. You might not have wouldn't have, but you did.
I didn't want this to happen.
You know, Sharon, obviously you know that Amanda's over here and we're talking with her as well. know that you love your kids very much, and you wanted nothing more than to allow them to live in peace. All right? I want you to understand something. They don't look at you as a bad person. All right? No matter what you did, no matter what you said, what you did, they don't look at you as a bad person. All right? All right. Amanda's over there, and from what the other agents are saying, none of them really liked Gary. Okay? You know why they didn't like Gary? Because, yeah, he was abusive towards them. He was verbally abusive towards them. And they don't dislike you. No matter what you say or what you do, they will never hate their mother, their mama. All right? So I want you to understand that, you know, I think one of the reasons you're having a hard time is because you're concerned of what your family's going to think of you, concerned about what others are going to think about you. Here right now, all we have is that you conspired with your son to kill your husband. That's what we have. That's what we will present. Okay? I mean, that's what, when someone asks us, that's the evidence that we have. Until we find that missing link, okay? This is kind of like a puzzle. All right? We have all these pieces scattered out. And what we're doing is we're slowly connecting some of these pieces together. And there's still some pieces that have not been connected that's going to make the puzzle a whole. All right? So your kids don't hate you. They love you. They love you for everything you've done. All right? For who you are, for raising them up. Yeah, you know what? They've had some problems. Amanda and Darryl, you know, whether they're mouthy, or I'm sure Josh is too, just because they're kids. Nothing against your kids, but they're kids. All right? But they love you. No matter what, they love you. You're saying they don't? You're shaking your head no. Are you telling me your kids don't love you?
No, they do, but
So why are you shaking your head no? Why are you automatically assuming that they don't?
I don't know. I don't assume they do. I know they love me.
But Sharon, when I say that, you shook your head no.
I know. I don't know
Why?
I don't know why.
It's because you're thinking of what happened, what you did.
I don't know.
You don't
I
know.
don't know why I shook my head no. I know my kids love me. I don't know.
You don't know,
I don't know why I shook my head no.
Sharon. All right, we are so close to you to allow this to be released. We are so close, but there's something that's holding you back. Okay. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what's holding you back from coming out and telling us the truth, the whole truth. Right? Is it like I said, your kids are not going to look at you any different. They love you no matter what. Right? Your family loves you no matter what. But unless I can go back and say, you know what? The reason this happened was because you fill in the blank. People can understand that. People can look at that and say, okay, you know what? She was abused. You know, she was, for so many years, she took this abuse and she could not handle it anymore. People understand that. They can relate to that. All right? What they cannot relate to is she just was cold-hearted. She didn't even shed a tear. Through the length of time, both times that we've spoken to you, never shed a tear. All right? That's all we have right now, is somebody who's cold-hearted, cold-blooded murderer who conspires to do that. Or am I talking to someone who has been battered, who is concerned for herself, concerned for her kids, to live in freedom, to live away from all this nonsense? Who am I dealing with? Am I dealing with a cold-blooded murderer?
No.
Or am I dealing with someone who's been battered all these years and was left with no choice? Who am I dealing with? Sharon?
Somebody who's been verbally abused. My kids have been verbally abused. I just wanted to get away from him.
Okay, and that's why this happened, isn't it?
Because I wrote those things to Darryl.
That's why this happened.
I'm a horrible person.
Sharon, you're not horrible, okay?
It's not the other.
Look at me. Look at me. Sharon, you are not horrible.
As if
No.
I wasn't.
No, you're not. You're not, okay? Because what you're telling me, let me understand this, Sharon. Let me understand this. What you're telling me is you wrote those letters. Listen to me. I'm talking, okay? I'm trying to understand who you are. You wrote those letters because you felt there was no choice. This was the only option you had, was to develop a plan with your son, Darryl, to rid yourself or to get rid of him forever. Is that right?
To divorce him, I never thought it would be killed.
Sharon, you just crossed it. You just told us, okay? You just said that the reason you wrote those things was because you were verbally abused, you were physically abused. Did you not just say that? Okay, now you're going back. But Sharon, now you're going back. All right, let's go forward. Don't go back. The past is behind us. Let's move forward. Let's talk about that. All right? Because now is the time. As I said, I've repeated myself over and over and over time. Okay? Again, are you this cold-blooded murderer? Or are you somebody who's been abused all your life and you felt there was no option? And we covered that. And you said you were the one that was abused. So you're not a cold-blooded murderer. All right? There's no reason to look at you and say, when I look at you, I see a mother. All right? I see a daughter. I see a friend. I see neighbors, everybody. You're an everyday type person, okay? I don't look at you any different. Huh?
How do you see that in me?
How do I not see that in you? Sharon? I just met you, okay? See, what you got to understand, Sharon, look at me. What you got to understand, being in law enforcement, I've been in law enforcement over 12 years, okay? That's a long time. And I have seen over and over and over again women being abused mentally, physically, verbally, sexually, all that, okay? All that abuse, in my opinion, is the same, okay? And when you get that over and over and over and over and over again, it does something to you. It wears you down. It makes you do things that you normally would never, ever do, as I said before. But unless...
Write those things.
What's that?
Write those things.
Write those things.
I would never write those things otherwise.
What, say it?
I said I never would have wrote those things otherwise.
Okay.
I mean, I might have thought them, but I never would have written them. It's just my thoughts and on paper.
Okay, but Sharon, look at me. Sharon.
And I created all this. I created all this mess by writing my thoughts on paper.
You did create this, Sharon. Look at me. All right? This caused you to create it. What you've been through caused you to create this. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is not typically you. Okay? Everything that you've been through caused this. That caused you to write these things, to generate the thoughts, to write these things on the paper, and to develop this plan or to work out all the details with Darryl. All right? As I said, we're moving forward. We're not going back anymore. Okay? So all the denying, all that stuff, that's done and over with. We're talking truth right now. All right? You guys developed this plan and you carried it out. We're there. Okay? Is it because of what has gone on in your life? Is that why you guys developed this plan? Sharon, look at me. Look at me in my eyes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And answer my question. Is everything that you've gone through the reason why you two developed this plan?
Thought these things and all, yes.
Thought all these things, okay, yes. And is why this plan was carried out. Now, you weren't the one who did it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you did it. I know that Darryl did it. But it was because of the plans that the two of you developed.
Because I wrote those things down.
Right. which was a plan for him. Sharon, what did I say? We have come way too far to go back. All right? This is your time. This is a time for you to tell us. You're not a cold-blooded murderer. I know that. And as I said, I know it. I can see that in your eyes. I'm looking at you. Although you're not looking at me, I'm looking at you. Okay? I can see it in your eyes. That's not you. That is not you. I tell you what I see. I see somebody who is just beaten down. I mean, your posture, everything about you, you're beaten down. I can tell that you're tired. You're tired of all this. And this was the only choice that you had. Okay?
No, it wasn't.
This was the only choice because this is a choice that you made. This is what you and Darryl came up with. This is the game plan that you come up with. You've already said that you wrote those things down. You know that you're influential towards Darryl. You had to know that he was going to act upon those thoughts that you wrote down on the paper. You had to know that, correct?
I really didn't think he would.
How can you say that? How can you sit here and say that? That you did not think that he would act upon those thoughts? You
Not
are
like
his.
this.
You are
No.
his mom.
I never thought he'd do this. I never thought he'd act upon it this way.
Sharon.
I really didn't. I know
Sure.
you don't believe me, but I really never thought he'd do this.
Sharon. As I said, we're moving forward. We're not back at that place anymore. All you're doing is going backwards. All right, we're progressing forward because you as I said, you were so close. You were so close to getting and releasing everything out, releasing the truth, telling us what exactly happened.
I don't really know exactly what happened other than I wrote things to my son that caused him to do this.
Let me ask you this. Those things that you wrote down were very specific to what happened. Specifically, he went and got the guns from your grandma's house. All right. Friends getting out of jail that he hooked up with. You getting him the truck keys. You giving him money. All those things actually happened, and I can show that it happened. All right. So it's not just thoughts. These are actions that once he got out of jail, he got out of prison. These are things that actually happened. So it's beyond just thoughts and things that you wrote down. These are things that actually took place. Okay? And even the letters, it went beyond that because when he got out of jail, you guys followed through with this plan that you developed. He even says it in the letter that when you get out, you're going to talk about it further. Okay? You know you discussed it. You know you guys talked about it.
No, when he got out. No, we didn't discuss anything.
You didn't discuss anything, is what you're telling me. Okay, so what he's saying is a cold, bold-faced lie to us.
We didn't discuss anything when he got out.
Nothing. What about the gentleman who got out of prison? Reuben, or they call him Jersey. How do you explain him?
What do you mean? How do I explain him?
Well, in your letters, you talked about a certain individual coming out of jail. And next thing you know, here comes just one more thing that you need to explain, which you can't. All right, because Jersey gets out of jail, he goes, you give him the truck, he goes, picks him up to help him out with the job, take care of the problem that you have.
That morning I told him to stay out of trouble. The last thing I said to him is to stay out of trouble and get a job.
Sharon,
I did tell him that, and then I went to work.
Sharon. Nobody hates you. All right? I believe that you are so concerned with what other people think of you that you're having a hard time sitting here talking to us. Don't worry about other people. All right? This is Sharon's time right now. Don't worry about what your kids are going to think, because I can tell you right now, we just talked to her and she thinks very highly of you. All right? With all the things that she knows, she thinks very highly of you. I know Josh does. I know Darryl does, because when we talked to him, he had nothing but great things to say about you. So your kids love you. Your family loves you. But unless you give me something to explain what happened, as I said, I'm left with no choice. We need an explanation. All right, you sitting here just continuing to deny all the evidence and the facts that we have in this case doesn't cut it. This is your time. This is for you, right here, right now.
I never thought he would carry through with anything. I really did not think he was going to do it.
What did you think he was going to do?
If he did anything, maybe beat him up, but I didn't think that would happen because my husband's been working out. I didn't think that was going to be an issue.
So you thought he was going to beat him up?
At worst, but not. I don't even know if I really thought that. I mean, I really, and I know you don't believe me, but I am telling you the truth. I never thought he would go this far. I
Sharon,
never thought he'd do this.
Sharon, you know Darryl's sitting all alone now, all by himself. He is going to take the brunt of all this. He is taking all this on his shoulders. The son that you loved, I could tell by the correspondence, you loved him very much. And you felt very hurt when your husband didn't want you to even speak his name. Okay, and they don't want you to help him. And you as a mom, I can understand that you would not allow that to happen. So you would try to help your son however you could, and that's understandable. But your son is facing premeditated murder. Your son will either spend the rest of his life in prison or he's going to die with a needle. One of those two things.
I understand that.
And you understand that you're corresponding with him about about getting rid of your husband, and all these details that Agent Vitaliano has told you about. You know that you drove Darryl to the brink, and you know it's because of you that he did this. And what scares me the most is I'm trying to figure out, I'm still working on this, Amanda's involvement in this. Because she's mentioned in the letters, and Amanda told me, and she reiterated today, that she met with your son at the motel, and he said, I'm going to kill him in a couple of days. And told her the day before the murder, you are to stay out of there. In a way, she assisted Darryl in completing his mission. She even saw her father. He even stopped on the way over there and said, where are you and Joshua going? And she said, we're walking somewhere. He even said, go back home. It's raining. I don't want you to get wet. Or it's going to rain. Something. That's according to Amanda. And even then, she still allowed her dad to go to his death, to his demise, knowing that. That, by law, is called an accessory to a crime. She knew that a murder was going to happen, and she did nothing to stop it. And I've also heard that you have met your son and this boy previously.
No.
Okay, that may be incorrect, but I'm telling you this. You're going to leave your son. And when we asked your son, did your mom know about this? I'm sure she put two and two together. I'm sure she knew it was going to happen. And you now are going to sit and leave him all alone, because he will be alone. And this is not for 2 years, and it's not in a youthful offender prison. This is the big time prison. Okay, and that other boy saying, I didn't know he was going to do this. I thought I was just hanging out with him that day. So that other boy that's with him is probably going to get a little slap in the wrist, and that's it. Because there's no one that could tell us what true involvement that other young man had in the crime. So he's probably going to get a slap on the wrist. And your son will never get out. He will never see the sunrise or sunset again. And no matter how much you love him, I'm kind of shocked that you know that you drove him to this. And you're going to sit here being protective over yourself without taking some responsibility and saying, it is my fault. If I would have fed him those things, he would have never done this, and we would never be here today.
I've said that.
But But the thing is, Sharon, this is what I don't understand.
Why
And
did they do it?
you kind of wrote it in the letters. Why not go out and find somebody else to do this thing rather than involving your son and doing what you've done to him, which is a life sentence? Why not get a stranger to do it?
Because I really didn't want anything to happen.
Because you were afraid to go out and reach out to a person you really didn't trust and you really didn't know. And those are some of the things that you even say in the letter. Can that person be trusted? If you were just saying that to vent, like you were saying, I was just telling him those things to vent, I really didn't think he would do it. When he replied to you in detail like he did, your next reply would have been, son, look, I was just talking out of anger. I'm an adult. I need to take care of this. I'll divorce your father. We'll make a life on our own. I'll get half of his house, and that'll be enough to get me started somewhere. And you, Amanda, and Josh could come and stay living with me if Gary is so terrible. That would have been the adult, responsible, law-abiding thing to do. That's what we do. Instead, you fed this to Darryl. Darryl felt he had to do this for you. And you corresponded back and forth, and you never put a stop to it, Sharon. You never said, Darryl, I was just talking out of anger. I'm an adult here. You're a young man. You're my son. You don't need to get in trouble. I'm going to handle this my way. Whether it be getting to a divorce and doing it the way millions of people do it, or even going out and finding some derelict out in the street that would do it for some money and at least leave your family out of it, your son. But instead, you send your son to a death sentence because of the problems that you had with your husband. You did do that, and you never stopped it. I could understand if you wrote a letter back saying, Darryl, I was just kidding, or I was just speaking out of anger. At no time do I want you to do something like this. When you get out of prison, I will help you to get a job and get on with your life. Not, I will get you the $500. I will get you the motorcycle. Also, can that friend of yours be trusted? Can he be someone that will keep his mouth shut?
Gator Farm.
The Gator, these are not one letter, Sharon. You're a smart person, Sharon. What do you think people, neighbors like your neighbors, people that compose of a jury pool, if it comes to that in the future, what are they going to think when they read dozens and dozens of those letters? Would a reasonable person think that you were just talking out of anger after you replied to all those letters from your son? Or would they think this woman was so desperate and so unhappy and just wanted to be set free and start a new life, meet a new person, and have the love of her children and help out her children? Because let's face it, you and Gary got married at an early age. You probably weren't ready. Here you are. You've had 3 children. You've had a good job raising them. Okay, yeah, I mean, Darryl got in some trouble, but hey, we all got kids. Listen, 1 out of 3 that went a little bad ain't bad. Your daughter's someone to be proud of. Honor student, very smart, going to go to pre-med. Josh seems like a very intelligent young man. You've done a pretty good job overall. It's time for you to start a life on your own. You deserve to be happy. How old are you, Sharon? Early 40s? You deserve to be happy. Late 30s? You deserve to be happy. You have a long life ahead of you. Divorce Gary, move on. You deserve that. But you voiced it. You voiced your anger and frustration. And it got to a point where you wanted Gary out of your life, and you voiced that, unfortunately, to your son. A kid that maybe not is enraged with his dad, that already has a bad relationship with his father. And the plan was to get rid of him. Not to divorce him to get rid of him, to get rid of him. Terminally. Sharon, it happened. Sharon, you kept writing back to him. Yes, I'll give you the money. Yes, I can't get you the keys to this yet. Yes, your grandparents still have the guns. Yes. When do you think he stole these guns? when you guys went out for Father's Day. He knew they would be out of the house. He took that. That's scheming. That is a planned event. That's a planned event. You guys knew he was coming. Darryl was coming. It's time to get out of the house because he's got this other friend with him that you can't trust, that who knows what the friend would do. Darryl wouldn't harm you. But how about if things went bad? How about if Gary fought back and took the gun away from Darryl? How about if this kid that Darryl brought's really a psycho and ends up killing everybody? You had to be out of the house. But now your son sits alone in a jail. He sits there knowing his life is over. But maybe he gets some satisfaction that he has finally set you free. He has finally helped you out. Mom could finally be happy now. And all I had to do was sacrifice my life. He is your martyr, your own flesh and blood, your son you gave birth to, the son you raised and you loved, turns out to be your martyr. He gave up his life to kill your husband so you could be happier. Instead of just getting a divorce attorney, divorcing Gary, taking everything, getting an injunction against him, and loving and raising your kids. And if Darryl wanted to come over and visit every day, gosh damn it, he could have, because that was your house and Gary's no longer here. That would have been the responsible adult thing to do, not push your son to commit the murder of his own father. How do you think that's going to affect everybody in the long run? How do you think Gary's parents and family are going to feel when they've been comforting you over this time and they find out the truth? You weren't responsible when you poisoned your son to do this act. Be responsible now. And maybe people could say, you know what? Maybe Darryl was manipulated in a certain way. He definitely was vulnerable. And his mom is the one that helped him get to that point. Rather, you don't want to own up to what really happened. And Darryl is taking the whole brunt of this. He is your martyr. He's gonna give the rest of his life for your cause. And you did nothing to stop it, Sharon. I'm sorry that you did nothing to stop it. This is your chance to show your love for Darryl and to speak and tell us the truth of what really happened. To show the world, look, Darryl wasn't really all, it's not all Darryl's fault. It's not all Darryl's fault.
I know.
Is
if I wouldn't have written those things, he wouldn't have done it.
And you never stopped it. You never told him, hey, Darryl, I was just kidding. Don't do it, Darryl. You
I
said
did tell him I'd help him out with his business and I found
You
him
did.
a place to live. And
you did, but he was hell-bent on getting your wishes to come true.
I thought I was helping him out.
How could you help him out by him killing your husband?
I
Sharon,
never thought he'd do it.
Sharon, but everything else shows different. I think in your heart you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen, Sharon, because everything you've talked about, look at all these details, Sharon. Sharon, you had the right to be happy.
Not at this expense.
And Gary put a stop to it. How about Chris? Chris made you happy, right?
Someone to talk to them.
Yes,
Listen to me.
Chris made you happy. And even Gary had to put a stop to that when he found out. You can't even have a friend to confide in, to spell out your pain of what's going on in your marriage. Even he put a stop to that. And I don't know if you ever talked to Chris. Is Chris a married man?
Divorced.
Divorced. Okay. Did Chris love you? What do you think? Do you think Chris loved you?
No, I didn't love him either.
You didn't love him either? Okay. Did you confide in him though as a friend?
Yeah.
Did you ever tell him that your son had made comments
No.
about killing him? Okay.
No, 'cause
So
I didn't think he would.
Okay. Sharon, you knew he was going to do it. You made sure everything was out of the house, Sharon. It wasn't because you didn't want to confront your husband over that.
Yes, it was.
Listen, you could have taken your daughter. You could have told your son, meet me at the mall. And when he got there with his friend, you could have said, Amanda, take your dad's truck. We'll make up some story that you had it, and let's go back home. Your husband would have never known that he had the truck. That's just common sense.
That's what she was supposed to do, though.
It didn't happen. Because when he went to the mall, he had already killed your husband.
And he told you.
And that boy was there. That other black boy, he was there. He heard him say, Mom, I did it. He's dead. And you told him, you got to do something. Got to get him out. He was going back with that boy to get your husband out of the house. He had laid out a comforter, ready to wrap him in and take him and just make him disappear. And he told you that at the mall. And you didn't say, what? What'd you do? Are you crazy? Is he still alive? Call 911. My God. I didn't think you'd ever do that. You never said that. You never said that.
Did you ever tell the sheriff's office when you came to the house to see everybody there? You know what? My son said he killed him. No. We had to find this on our
I can't
own.
believe he'd do that. I wouldn't think he'd ever do that. No. Because you try to protect him, and that's normal. I don't expect you to tell us all these things. But you were probably hoping, I hope these cops go away. I talked to them the other night. Maybe they'll go away, they'll leave, and I could have some sort of sane life and raise my kids and do what I wanted to do. But we kept doing our job, and we have found a mountain of evidence, which any reasonable person would say, oh my God. And even when confronted, you're still putting a wall, protecting yourself, and not even showing some sort of humanity for your son, Darryl. You're willing to sit here and have him be portrayed as a monster, that it was all Darryl's fault, it was all Darryl's thinking, Darryl scheming, Darryl is just freaking evil. I had nothing to do with this. I didn't want this to happen. I love my husband. We had our problems, but that's it. You're hiding behind the wall when Darryl has given so much for you. And you're just going to sit there and just let him just rot. Rot and being portrayed like a monster. And just sitting back and saying, it's not my fault. I have no responsibility. I have no fault in what he did. I didn't think he was going to do it. And I never encouraged him to do it, folks. I never encouraged him to do that. Would you acknowledge you encouraged him to do it based on all these dozens of letters writing back to him? Would you at least make those admissions that you encouraged Darryl to kill his father by the letters you wrote? Would you at least own up to that truth? Could you do that?
I guess I did.
Well, it's in black and white. Those letters you wrote, right? Those letters that my partner showed you, you wrote those letters. You encouraged them to kill Darryl, right? You also told him where he could get firearms to complete his mission. You told him the guns could be found at your grandparents' house. They have them. Well, if he did, he had to make sure, and that's why he wrote in the letter, does Nana, whatever, still have the guns? And in your reply letter, you said, yes, they do. They're there. You can get them. Okay. So you not only encouraged this plan, You assisted him by telling him where he could get a gun, where he could get a vehicle. You facilitated him getting a vehicle to pick up his friend that was going to help him do this. You've helped him with money since his release. And he told you after he did this, after he killed his father, he would need $500 and he would need a vehicle. And all that you facilitated him with. You didn't want to be there when it happened, so you stayed away from the house, obviously. But everything else, do you understand? Do you acknowledge that what you did, Sharon, was wrong? Do you at least realize that what you did was wrong?
I know it was wrong.
You know it was wrong.
I know I shouldn't have written those things to him. If I wouldn't have written those things.
Do you know
to him,
that what
he
you
wouldn't have done
did? You know that what you did is against the law? Did you know that? Did you know that when you encourage someone and you assist them and facilitate them in committing a murder? Do you understand that's wrong? Do you understand that's against the law?
it. Yes.
You understood that. You knew that. And here is your son at 22 years old. He will never be married. He will never have children. He will never grow old. He will never enjoy the joys of life. Never. Never. It's over. And then think what's going to happen to little Josh. When he gets old enough to say, you know what, I want to find out what really happened with my mom and my dad and my sister, I'm going to go to the sheriff's office, because it's public record, and I'm going to ask them for copies of their reports. And you know what will be included in those reports?
Everything.
Those letters. Do you realize what you have set into motion here? That if you would have just divorced Gary, you may not have had as much money or be able to provide for your children as much, because there's sacrifices when you get divorced, financial sacrifices. Do you understand you could have prevented this? Darryl could have had at least an opportunity to go on with his life. Amanda could have gone off to college and gone to pre-med. Okay? Josh could have grown up, at least with a mom and a dad, maybe not living together, but he could have made something of himself. Your family? Your parents? How are they going to feel? They've come from Pennsylvania to give you comfort, put their arms around you. How are they going to feel when they know the truth? And it's in black and white. We don't even have to tell them. Take some responsibility for what you have done. It was wrong, but I know you're adult enough and you have enough love for your children to own up to a mistake. That's what grown-ups do. They take responsibility. I wish you would have done that beforehand, but we can't take that back. Like Agent Vitaliano said, we can't take that back. It happened. So now Darryl sits alone.
Sharon,
You know it, Sharon.
Sharon, also, why is it that you talked to Gary several months ago and asked him to increase his life insurance policy?
I never asked him that.
You never asked him to do that?
If he did that, I had no idea.
Okay, then why did he tell his friends that you asked him to do that?
I don't know why. I don't even know what his life insurance policy is. I never talked to him about that.
You never talked to him about life insurance policy?
No.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that.
When was the last time that we spoke? Right after your husband was murdered on Monday afternoon, okay? By the time we called you up to you come up to the office, the sheriff's office. So Tuesday morning about 4:00 in the morning is when we took you back home, correct?
I don't know.
It was approximately, let's say between 3:30, 4:00, something like, or 3 or 4. Okay. You called Gary's boss at what, 5:30 that morning?
I think it was like 5:45 because that's when they were due in to tell him Gary wouldn't be there.
Okay. And what was your conversation with his boss?
My mother-in-law told me to ask him. About
No. I asked you what your conversation was with your boss, with his boss. And who was his boss?
Eddie Tibbetts.
Eddie Tibbetts. Okay. What did you ask Eddie Tibbetts?
I told him that Gary wouldn't be in, and I told him why. And I did ask about the life insurance, but it was only because my mother-in-law told me to.
Okay. Sharon, what did you ask about the life insurance?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay, so you are inquiring, your husband gets murdered around, let's say, between 5 and 6. I can't remember the exact time on Monday. So 24 hours later, after being up all night, you are inquiring about his life insurance policy that next morning.
That's because his mom told me to ask about it.
Okay.
The only thing I thought about was calling his boss, but his mom told me to ask about it. So I did.
So you did.
I
Okay.
only did what she told me to do.
So is that how you lived your life this whole time, with what other people have told you to do? And for once you told somebody else to do something, and guess what? He did it. You didn't think he would do it? Did you not just sit here and listen to Agent Reyes and explain everything to you? Okay?
I understand everything he said to me, but
And you understand that what you did was not right, it was criminal, is what you told us, correct?
I understand.
You do understand that, all right? You understand that you are the influence to your son, and what you told him to do, he acted upon, and you enabled him to do that, correct?
I guess.
No, there's no guessing. You either did or you didn't.
Did I tell him those things? Yes.
Okay, so you told him those things, you told him what you wanted done, and then you enabled him to do it. You gave him what you would call material support. You enabled him to do that?
Yeah, I gave him the truck and all that.
So you did. All right,
I let him use it, yes.
okay. Why did you, let me ask you a question. Of all the vehicles that are out in the front, why did you let him use a truck?
Because the other car is my daughter's and one's mine.
Okay, so,
And I always drove my car.
but let me ask you this. Would you not think it would be easier for you to explain that you drove Gary's truck instead of your son driving Gary's truck?
What do you mean?
Okay, do you regularly drive Gary's truck at all? Would he be upset if you were driving his truck?
At one point, yes.
So he got upset even if you drove his truck?
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes, but
we
you did.
actually had a big falling. Well, not falling, but we had a discussion.
But I'm
He
saying,
yelled at me about
okay,
driving it.
but answer me this question. Would it be easier for you to explain that you drove your truck or Gary's truck, or Darryl drove Gary's truck? Which one would be easier for you to explain? To Gary.
I didn't think I was going to have to explain it.
Okay. Here's what I'm trying to explain to you, okay? You could have very easily allowed Darryl to drive your vehicle. Correct?
Yes, I could have. I didn't like driving the truck.
Well, just listen to me. I'm
Sorry.
talking. You could have very easily allowed Darryl to drive your vehicle, and you could have drove Gary's truck.
Yes.
All right? Was there any reason why you wanted Darryl to have a pickup truck with a bed in the back of the
No.
truck? No reason whatsoever. Would be
No.
easier for him to dispose of anything
No.
out of that pickup truck. No, because he couldn't put it into your vehicle because the whole thing went into process. Remember, the whole thing started going down. Once he got out and all these things started rolling, all these things started setting in place. All this, you knew that he had to have a pickup truck.
Wasn't my thought.
That wasn't your thought at all. Was that maybe his thought? Did he say anything to you about that? That he needed a pickup truck instead of your vehicle? I don't understand why he drove that instead of your vehicle.
Because I always drove mine.
You always drive yours and you were just going to let him drive the pickup truck.
Because that was the vehicle that was left at the house.
Okay.
And he was supposed to go get a job.
All right. Where was he going to look for the job that day?
He was supposed to, I know he was supposed to go to B&G because he worked there before and they said that he could come back and
What
possibly.
is that?
Landscaping.
Okay.
Because he wanted to start his own landscaping business and that's what I was trying to help him with.
All right. So we've gotten to the point where you understand that all these things that you told him, he's acted upon.
Yeah.
You enabled him to act upon all these. You gave him support. The only question that's left is for you to explain to us, as I've said, I don't know how many times I've said this, and everybody else that's come in here, why that you persuaded him to do this and why you enabled him to do this.
I didn't persuade him to do it because I didn't want him to kill his father.
No, we've already crossed that line. Okay, we've already gone beyond that.
Well, Sharon, as I told you, when you came up here, you were not under arrest, correct? I did tell you that, correct? And you came up here voluntarily, you sat here and talked with us, and now I'm going to release you. You're free to leave. You've been free to leave the whole time. Your daughter's out in the lobby, and you can go home if you want to. Do you want to go home? I have no reason to hold you here. I told her she's free.
Sharon? Sharon, we're done with our interview, so, whenever you want to leave, you just let us know, okay? You've always been free to leave, but I think your daughter's out in the front waiting for you, so. Okay. Would you like something to drink, water or anything?
Is there something you want to say?
You want tissue? No? Okay.
I'm so sorry all this happened.
I am too.
We all are. See if we can get a marked unit. Take them out. Okay.
Does it matter, drop?
No. No, that's one. You get a whisper. What? Hey. I want to do it. You really want to? Oh, you need someone to go with you. Okay. Bring out your car and all that. Whenever you want to go, just tell us. We'll drive you home. Okay.
Come home to watch. Stop it.
What's that? What's that, Sharon? Sharon, you gotta be strong for Amanda and Josh. You have to be strong for Amanda and Josh, and you gotta be strong for Darryl. Okay. What is it?
If I want to rid of anything, it's my fault. I destroyed my family.
They could still get through this, okay, Sharon?
I destroyed my family.
You have to be strong for Amanda and Josh, okay? You could be strong for them. There's other family members that could be strong for them. They're gonna need you. Okay? Even Darryl's gonna need you. Okay?
But I destroyed the family. Because I was angry and I wrote things in anger. And you're right, I probably could have stopped it. Because I didn't keep to it.
Well, Sharon, that's where me and you differentiate. I think part of you knew what was going to happen, and it was happening that day. Okay, that's just my opinion. Because when you don't stop people from doing things like this, and you continue writing to them, encouraging them, telling them how they could get the things that they need to accomplish that, you just can't say when it happens that you had no idea or didn't think it was going to happen. Darryl was hell-bent on getting you happiness. And if you told him that's the only way you could be happy, what did you think he was going to do? But look, we don't need to talk about that anymore. Let's just be strong.
Yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be for Amanda and Josh. You have to be. I don't know how. This is where family comes in. You need to get as much support for them as possible. Okay? There are people that go through horrible things in life, and they persevere, and they still become accomplished people and successful people and strong people. But if they don't get help, they'll fall apart, and they will have a lifetime of difficulties in life. That's why it's important you get help for them. And you need to be true. I don't know. And you need to be strong for yourself. You can't be strong for them if you completely fall apart. But I just don't know why. I just don't know why you just couldn't say, you know what, Gary, I'm sick of you. I want a divorce. End of story. That's it. Okay? Gary, that's it. I want a divorce.
I actually didn't tell him that.
You get an attorney. You actually file it. You move out of the house. You have a job. You go live with a friend or something. You go take your children. You wait for the divorce to be final. And you move on. I don't know why that wasn't an option. Only you know that. I don't know that. I didn't like my first wife, and I got a divorce. We both are more happier now than ever. We moved on, met other people. That's what life's about. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Mel? Let's go. Let me take you home to your family, okay? Is there anything else you want to tell me, or anything else? No? Come on. Let's go. That's okay. Well, I'll take it. Here. Let's go.
Despite significant circumstantial evidence, Sharon is released without charge. 3 years later, in March 2011, a grand jury indicts Sharon Myers on first-degree murder for orchestrating the killing of Gary Kenny. Pre-trial proceedings drag on for years, complicated by rulings that detectives failed to provide a Miranda warning during her interrogation. Finally, in 2018, Sharon is convicted of manslaughter. She is sentenced to 10 years in prison and scheduled for release in 2027. This series will continue with the interrogations of Darryl Kenny and Ruben Nero.